Welcome back to 8 Good Minutes-ish, 8-ish Good Minutes. I get a lot of comments from folks that it went 8.5, it went 9. I get it. Okay, we have fun here. David Hall coming at you today, and we got a great subject, and we got a couple of great guests. I'm really excited. Allison and Tanis both been on the show. I think multiple times. Pretty much they run it.
Time 2 for me.
Ladies, do you mind introducing yourself to the audience here as we talk? I'm going to bring up today's subject, but I know that you guys both have a lot to say, so we're going to get right to it. Go ahead, Tanis.
Yeah, Tanis Mashak, engagement activator. So, what we're talking about today is right up my alley.
Yeah, and I'm Allison Wisniak. I'm our people experience coach here, so I'm all about our people, culture, doing things great every day.
Two of the best, and I'm excited to be here with you guys today. And, our goal with this podcast when we started it was to, not necessarily talk about mortgages, but talk about things that are important to us that we think drive a successful company. And, a lot of these things are things that we're working on every day that we're not perfect at, but we think about them and we talk about them. And just like any organization, try to make progress within these things. And I think today's subject, Allison, I think that you came up with today's subject.
Yeah,
it's really good. Be a role model for the culture that you want, which I think is, it's important that a culture, in my view, to be, authentic, meaning this is who we are, not who we're like pretending to be, And I thought you'd talk a little bit about that title, be a role model for the culture you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I think every single day when you come in as a leader of a company or of a sports team or just anything in general, you have to lead for the culture that you want. If you want a negative environment, you come in negative, but nobody wants it. You want to come in, you want to be positive. You want to create that team morale that boosts people up. And I think that stems truly with the leader. Mm-hmm. I'm sure, Tanis, you could touch a little bit on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we talk about sports all the time, too. And the most powerful form of educating is what they've, called a role model. I think that was John Wooden, former coach. And, I think that leading by example is obviously the first step. And you're on the stage every day, and you want the people around you to mimic, the best. And that's what we strive to do. Yeah,
absolutely. And culture is, it's become such a buzzword over the last, couple decades. And I think not everybody, most companies aspire to have a great culture. I've talked to a few folks that they don't really care about their culture. They just want to get paid. But most companies aspire to have a really great culture. And I'm just wondering, when you talk about that, what instantly comes to mind for you ladies, just in your own thought process of what makes a great culture at a company?
Absolutely. I think when you walk in the doors, something that's always stood out to me is when people say hello to each other, they greet each other. You're not stuck in your cubicle, head in your computer. People actually want to take those couple minutes to, be friends with you, give you that warm welcome. And I think that really stems from the top. I remember my first job ever, the leader walked around, and I remember I was just like almost starstruck when I saw like the CEO of the company shaking hands with people, saying hello, and it really made a positive impact on me when I started at Hall Financial. And you came in and you're like, hey, Muller, you have a good day. Bobby, come on, you got this. You're talking to all these people and boosting them up. I loved that, and that's something that I try to do every day now that I'm a leader here.
Yeah, and I think it's the consistency of, genuinely caring about those around you. Mm-hmm. And you feel that, we're with each other so many days and hours of the week. And to have that positivity around you, they say surround yourself with, people that you aspire to be like, and that, misery needs company. It's the whole thing of like, you want to have that, trust and accountability and respect and positivity around you every day that just inspires you to be a better person. It's,
Allison, will you share your analogy with leadership and parenting? I love your analogy with leadership and parenting. It's really good. Even though you're not a parent yet, I feel like you're wise beyond your years.
Me? I think I'm kind of a parent. I'm a dog mom, but not a true parent yet. I'm like a couple steps underneath being a parent. But so I said it's like parenting. Good parents raise good kids. Parents that model how to be kind and compassionate raise kids that are kind and compassionate. It is the same with a leader in a company. More is caught than taught. So set an example for your team members and be clear and consistent. And I love that. That's so true. Like, I'm sure you can say some good stories about your kids too, like little things that they've picked up from you, or just being good and kind. You know, it spreads.
Well, I think leaders and parents both sort of set the tone with what is and isn't okay, you know, and I think that organizations where, you know, maybe if we take a really poor organization where maybe they have a lot of compliance issues and they have a lot of issues with like things not going the way they should, you know, that's probably maybe okay with the leader, whereas organizations that are run a little bit more tight or, you know, like day to day, there's a lot of leadership over all the little things, like the details, then, you know, those things aren't okay. And then all of a sudden you've got a different vibe, as you guys like to say, the vibe is different.
The vibe is kicking.
Yeah, at those organizations. And Tanis, I'm kind of curious, just given some of your, you know, past experiences of like what you found to be like really good or even at Hall Financial, and then things that either we need to improve or that you think other companies where you've been maybe prior to this needed to improve as it relates to cultural experiences.
Yeah, I think, you know, we talk about it all the time. Communication is key. And, you know, if the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, then, it, you know, that shows. And, you know, coming from a, you know, the mortgage company that you know, we strive for 5-star service, and we do that in all aspects of the business. And I think that goes hand in hand with our relationship building, you know, with our partners, with our vendors. It's, you know, treat others the way you like to be treated. And, you know, when you don't get that other places, you feel that, you remember that. A lot of times, you know, if you go to a wedding or you go somewhere and you don't get great service, a lot of times if someone asks you, what did you have for dinner, you may not remember, but you're going to remember if you had a great experience or not. And, you know, the same thing goes with a job or anywhere in your life. And it really makes a difference when you have the communication, the positivity, the trust, the support. And I think that's one thing that our team really does great at, and why it's such a great, you know, culture to be in. This
is why I want to like open up all these, you know, different businesses in my next life where, you know, the coffee shop, everybody knows what's going on. And then we have like a timer of how long it's going to take you to get your coffee. No waiting around for 7 minutes. That's not, you know, those are like the kind of things that like fascinate me. Car washes, coffee shops, and hosts and hostesses at restaurants. And valet guys. I like valet guys, like, because you really get a sense of the service and then what the overall culture is in the business by the way that you get treated. I mean, I think that is a really important thing. Allison, I like the stat that you have in there as well. It's almost hard to believe that company culture is the number one reason why people either stay or leave. And like, you know, not even in the top 10 is pay. A lot of times with people when they're making these kind of decisions, people assume it's all about pay, but really they make their decisions based on other things.
Absolutely. No, when I found that stat, I was like, I understood it completely. I can see why it is the number one reason. Sometimes I think around the world we think, oh yeah, pay is the reason why people leave. But no, it's, you know, the saying, people remember how you make them feel. Kind of like we were talking a little bit earlier. You know, people care more than ever nowadays about how they're treated, how they feel. You know, they want to feel when they go to work. You know, life's too short to go to a place and not like what you do every day. You know, they want to go to work and they want to enjoy themselves. And I totally see why company culture has become, like you said, the buzzword, the number one thing that's important, because, you know, life, at the end of the day, life is too short to not enjoy what you do every day. And I feel like maybe through COVID, we've all realized that through a lot of reflection. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, listen, another good edition of 8 Good Minutes. Went 9.5 this time. That's not bad for us, actually. Thanks for all your insight, ladies. Tanis, Allison, it was a great show, and look forward to doing some more with you guys in the future.
Thank you. Bye.